Good evening. Welcome to the Loan Officer Training Series with the Mortgage Calculator. Tonight, we're going to be talking about using Optoutprescreen.com to protect your borrowers from trigger leads. We'll wait just a moment here to go live on all the different platforms. We do stream this live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, as well as the podcast platforms. Thank you for the comments there. We put the chat up on the screen. Feel free to drop a comment there as you tune in. And we'll get started here in just a moment. All right. It looks like we are live on all the different platforms. Excuse me. We'll go ahead and get started. We'll take the chat off the screen for now, but go ahead and keep dropping comments there in the chat. You can also drop any questions that you have in the chat as well. But we'll go ahead and get into it here. So welcome everyone. My name is Kyle Hershey. I am the COO of the Mortgage Calculator, joined here by our president, Nick Hershey. And today we are going to be talking about using Optoutprescreen.com to protect your borrower from trigger leads. Remember, we do this training every Tuesday and Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern for loan officers with a different topic. And that is our topic for tonight. So Nick's going to go ahead and hold us down here tonight and go through this presentation. Definitely something that's important to a lot of loan officers to protect their clients from becoming trigger leads. That's what we're talking about here, right? We're trying to minimize the amount of trigger lead calls our clients are going to get when you pull their credit or they pull their own credit in our system, right? Either way. So with that being said, Nick, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you and we can get into it.
All right. Switch the screens here. Okay, try to make it nice and big. I mentioned covering here for Jose, so we'll go through the presentation and we're going to talk about how to use Optoutprescreen.com to, as I mentioned, protect our borrowers from becoming one of those infamous trigger leads. So first off, is Optoutprescreen.com. So this is an official website that is made by, you see there in the second bullet point, Innovis and TransUnion to process requests to opt in or opt out of what they call quote unquote firm offers of or insurance. So supposedly something to help them get offers of firm offers. Insurance. So I don't know if Jose put that in here. Oh, yes, he did in the third bullet. So we'll talk about that here in a second. So second bullet point, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion are the credit reporting companies, consumer credit reporting companies that encourage you to make informed decisions about receiving offers. Basically, they built this into the lobby so that they could give more offers out. They're not doing it for all. Obviously, they want to make money and get more credit out there to consumers here. So under FACT, credit companies are permitted to include your name on lists to make firm offers of credit that are not you. So firm offers is basically the whole scheme here. So for some reason, the credit lobbyists came together and FACRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, to add in this stuff that ends up kind of, in my opinion, possibly being, we'll see how we're going to protect our customers from being abused by it. But the whole thesis here is that they're going to get firm offers. So if you go to their website, that they say, hey, if you opt out, you're no longer going to get firm offers, aka pre-qualified offers, aka that become those basics of your credit, and they can offer you supposedly a better offer, which in theory could be a good thing, but in practice it's definitely become somewhat of a nuisance here. So the FACRA Act also provides you the right to opt out. So as part of the law, they got the right that they could give your data out without your permission, which was pretty kind of sneaky. But as part of the law, the lawmaker that you have to be able to opt out. So that's what we're talking about here. Is this website is the genesis of that, where the law came into effect, and all of the agencies there that are collectively the consumer credit reporting companies had to pay to build and operate this website, Optoutprescreen, in order to execute that part of the law. Now, what is a trigger lead? So as part of that, they're able to create trigger leads. So in this industry, we call them trigger leads. That's just another name for a person that is generated from. So a trigger lead contains their names, addresses, contact information, and even their FICO scores and credit balances and all kinds of crazy stuff I think is able to be out there publicly, but it is because of this law. Now, these are generated by the credit report inquiries. So every time an inquiry is made, a report is generated, and then these credit bureaus that generate the reports can then sell that data, not just the person that requested it, but other people as well. So it's generated as soon as a credit report is completed, and basically allows other people to start soliciting your client. So it can cost you a prospect even if they cannot close the loan. So a lot of times you guys have, I'm sure, some of the war stories out there of customers getting 100 calls within a day of loan offers are pulling their. So even if they don't offer a better offer, right? The whole point of this other loan officer calling your client is to give them a better. Even if they don't, it can turn your client off. So a lot of negatives can come about here when your client becomes a trigger lead. Now, how do you protect trigger lead? Basically, call centers are typically what you see here in the graphic, where they're going to call large lists of trigger leads and go by volume, right? So that's why you see the war stories of customers getting called hundreds of times. So the only way to get your customers off this list is they go to this website that was created by the credit reporting agencies called optoutprescreen.com. That's the only official website and only official way to do it. They'll need name, address, social, date of birth, and we can't do it for them, right? They have to do it for themselves. And social and date of birth is not required. Will ensure it's processed accurately, which is the whole point here. They say they'll do it in 5 days. If the information is accurate, that's part of the law. So make sure your customer accurately. They can opt out for 5 years or permanently. Obviously, if they're trying to opt out, I would recommend they do it permanently. But of course, this is all up to them because we can't do it for them. So that's one of the of the Optoutprescreen site. It would be great if we could help them and do it for them, but it's their choice, right? Consumer choice here. That's part of the law. Now, what are the benefits of opting out? So when they go to the website, they see all the language from the credit reporting agencies that are selling their data without their permission, money on them without their permission, making money on our borrowers. So let's go on the other side and let our borrowers know what are the benefits of opting out. So they're going to have protection against unsolicited offers. So again, the credit reports call them firm offers. I would call them nuisances or unsolicited. It's junk mail, right? You get junk mail, you get pre-approved. You're pre-approved for this credit card. Most people call it junk mail. It could be junk email also. Definitely gets matched in sets, and of course the junk phone calls. So tons of junk offers. So borrowers are going to shield themselves from a flood of unsolicited credit and insurance offers that their needs, right? We're the loan officer. We're going to help them find out what their needs are. Some automatic system or some person in a call center is unlikely to be able to find needs just from a few bits of data that come across their screen. Increased privacy. Obviously, our customers in this day and age want to be private, so reduce the chance of their financial information being shared and enhance privacy. It is scary how much information is out there because it does include credit information, which would otherwise be NPI, but these companies are selling NPI because they're creating the NPI, right? It's FICO is their product, so that product is something that they are able to sell, which is kind of not very cool in my opinion. Reduced risk of identity. So fewer unsolicited offers means lower risk of sensitive information falling into the wrong hands. So again, if your credit score, your social, if it is in there, name, your addresses, your whole address history, all of your creditors are there out for the taking, where anybody can purchase them as a trigger lead. That can definitely lead to personalized financial planning. So without the distraction of unsolicited offers, borrowers can focus on financial planning that is tailored to their situation, potentially with their current loan officer. So again, this is a chance for you to be a professional, and there's no way that the automated mailers, junk mail, is professional or even know what's going on, right? They just get a couple pieces of data. And typically your call center type of loan officer that's going to be calling the trigger lead on the other end is not able to tailor that specific financial plan. So we want to make sure our borrowers understand what they get with those pre-selected offers and what they don't get with those pre-selected offers. And what is our role here? So of course, we can't go and fill the form out for them. I wish we could. That would be pretty cool, but unfortunately we can't. So what is our role here? Education. So we need to educate our borrowers and inform them about and the benefits, inform them, as a neutral party, right? It's their decision at the end of the day. But myself, I've never talked to a borrower who really a good idea. I don't think I've ever talked to anyone in America who thinks that this thing is a good idea. Remember, it's a lobby that was placed by the credit report company so they could make more money. Your data without your permission is something that's pretty easy to get across to your customer that is not good for them, right? They're not making money from it. They only have risk from this process, really. It's also going to help you guide them through the process and make you a professional. So you're going to have step-by-step assistance. This is one of those things you can help by step and start that journey with them as a value-added service and enhance that trust and loyalty, right? Break the ice, do for them, right? That's free. Give them that free bit of advice. Get them something that benefits them for no cost from you, no cost from them, just something that builds that relationship and that rapport with them. Building trust, again, I kind of already mentioned that. By advocating for their privacy and financial well-being, you're going to strengthen your relationship. Of course, that's pretty apparent here. And maintaining contact. So again, it's just another chance to talk to your borrower, right? Talk to them about things that are going on that is good for them. It's definitely something right now, and it's definitely something that will happen. Educate them that if they don't do this, they're going to get 100, 200 calls in the next 24 hours. Something you can help. It's because Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, all these credit bureaus are selling their information. So definitely want to make sure to use it as a chance and just check back in with them. Say, hey, did you go ahead and do that? Is it time to pull your credit now? Are you ready to? So lots of things we can do with just a simple, free, easy tool. Don't need to take the time to go to the website. It's like 1 or 2 page website, super simple. Obviously, they make billions of dollars off this data, but they didn't spend billions of dollars on this website, right? So don't really need to pull it up. Send your customers there, optoutprescreen.com. I definitely recommend you all check it out. Definitely recommend you all put your names on there as well. If you agree the way I do, that it's definitely not in our borrower's interest. But that's it for the slides. Let me go ahead and bring back the screens. Open it up to any questions here. Let me just change my screen real quick, and we'll bring Kyle in.
So I have a question for you, Nick. So what about the old tale of just deleting your borrower's phone number and email before you pull their credit?
Yeah, let me pull up my little graphic. Yeah, so that definitely doesn't work, right? So deleting their email is great, right? Because we don't want to give that necessarily to Experian if we can help it. But that typically doesn't go into the credit pool anyway. And typically these C's, Experian, TransUnion, they're all selling the data. And then they're either supplementing the data with pending the data or skip tracing, some people call it, right? Taking just their basic name, address, credit profile data, and then the public data sets to add emails and phone numbers that may match to those borrowers. So that's typically how it happens. So whether you take the phone number out or not, I definitely would recommend to take it out. It doesn't hurt. We don't want to give information to those agencies if you can prevent it. But I believe our system and most systems typically just send the name and social, not phone number as part of what we send to get the report, right? So kind of a wives' tale, as Kyle said. It's not going to prevent it. The only way to prevent it is to do what we just did. Send your customers to that website, wait 5 days or however long it takes to process. They don't tell you how long, right? There's no way really to know. Just give them good advice. It's definitely something they should do. And as long as they do that ahead of time, we can pull their credit and hope that it's not going to trigger. So the phone number out, definitely a good idea. Is it going to stop it? Absolutely not. They're going to still match their name, email, phone number if they're on this list, and they're going to do their damn to go through thousands of databases and try to find a phone number they can call or try to find an email they can email. So it won't prevent it. It will help. The best way to help is follow these directions.
All right. I like it. Short and sweet today. I don't see any questions, so I think we are good to go. Pretty self-explanatory there, but something that will definitely help your borrowers. As Nick said, something early on in the process too, right? This is also something you can do for when those of you who are like pre-qualifying new home buyers. This is a part of the process that, again, like Nick said, you can help walk them through, be more, be a consultant, give them something to do too. People who are still working on their credit and saving up a down payment and stuff. Give them something to do to be involved in the process, to start making steps towards something, right? So definitely something that you need to do early on, because again, it can take up to like 5 days for it to actually kick in. So I would do it anyways, even if it's right before you pull the credit, right? Tell them to do it before, no matter what. But in best practice, you would try to do it, 5 days ahead of time or so. And that should stop a lot of the trigger lead calls. All right. I don't see any questions, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Remember, we do this Tuesdays and Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern time, where we go through a new loan officer training topics. We'll be back tomorrow with a new topic. We appreciate it. We will see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern time, for the next episode of the loan officer training series with the mortgage calculator. Have a great night, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.